let's give an example a try. Here, we are given that if you rent a room for $600 a month with a $1,000 deposit and $4,600 in savings, how long you pay rent on savings alone, assuming you can't save any more than that, assuming that your savings are going exclusively towards rent. So, for this, what we're going to want to do is follow through on the 4 steps. And because this is our first example, I'm going to go through those steps in a little bit more detail than I normally would. I'm actually going to notate them somewhat. So for our first step, what we want to do is understand the problem. So that means we want to think about what we know, and we also want to think about what we're trying to find. So here, what we know is that we have the cost for the initial deposit. So the $1,000 deposit. We have the cost in rent, which is $100 a month. And the last thing we have here is the amount of saving. And what we need is to know how long that savings will last us. So, how many months does this afford? How many months does this get? Okay. Now that we have a sense of what it is that we're actually trying to do, our next step would be to come up with a plan. Come up with a plan for how we can figure out what we're doing here. So, thinking about this, what we really just want to do is think about what information we have and how it immediately gets applied. Here, we must pay the $1,000 no matter what. Now, if you're going to move in, no matter how long you move in, you've got to pay that deposit, so you need that money up front. No matter what else happens, if you're planning on moving in. And as far as recognizing what we can do from there, what we would want to do next is understand that whatever's left over, if we divide that total by the rent per month, we will find out how many months we have to work with. So dividing the remainder by some number of months, or excuse me, by the rent, gives a number of months. Gives the number of months we are looking for specifically. Step 3, actually do some math. So here what we would get is 4,600 minus 1,000 equals 3,600. From there, we divide 3,600 by 600 to get 6. So what this tells us is that if we go through with this, if we go through with the plan to get this room, our savings will last a total of 6 months. And then for step 4, just want to check back through this, check back through our math. So if we want to check this one, it's pretty straightforward. We think it's 6 months. Well, if you take 6 and multiply it by 600, that will tell you how much 6 months would cost on this rent. And then add the 1,000 you have to spend for the deposit, and you end up with a total cost of 4,600. So our plan worked, our math worked, and that tells us how long we would have in that scenario.